Welcome to the 2020 Brewtubers Online Brewers Club Yeast Experiment. Brought to you by our proud sponsors. Woody's Homebrew Store. Use code BREWTUBERS for 10% off your entire order and get free shipping on any order over $58. Go to www.woodyshomebrew.com. Imperial Yeast, a half stainless steel mash panel sponsor of the Brewtubers Online Brewers Club, an official yeast provider of the Yeast Experiment. Imperial Yeast offers brewers of all sizes access to world-class yeast and the best possible customer and technical support. Be sure to grab a pack or two now at your local homebrew shop or Woody's Homebrew. And lastly, Hopsteiner, the official hops provider of the 2020 Yeast Experiment. Get brewing.
Hey guys, Matt here at Brewery. We're going to do another 2020 Brewtubers Yeast Experiment review. Just got done playing a couple rounds of Omega Virus. It's a blast from my kid past. I had that game since I was a kid, and the girls have been wanting to play for a while, so I dug it out and we set it up. Had to get some of the corrosion out of the because it's a battery operated game and it's from the 80s. So the batteries were sitting there for probably a couple of years, so I had to clean it up and get it rolling. But anyway, they're playing a third round, so I figured I'd escape out and do another review. This one I believe is Nikhil's. I hope I pronounced your name right. It's the Hungry Hornindal IPA. He used the Kveik Hornindal yeast on this one. It looks like, if I'm reading that correctly, he fermented it at 92 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's what these Kveiks do. They like the hot, or they can ferment in the hot temperature. I can't wait to try the Kveik yeast I have. I'm gonna wait till it gets a little warmer out. The OG of this is 1064. The final gravity was 1012. ABV turned out to be 6.83%. That's what that looks like. Brewed on February the 9th, and it was bottled on the 22nd. Now, before we crack this open, let's go ahead and see what this yeast is all about. So I believe this is the Omega one. It didn't have a number on there, but I believe that's what this is, the OYL091 Hornindal Kveik. If I'm wrong, let me know. Hopefully they're similar, regardless of company. It says it's a wonderfully unique Norwegian farmstead Kveik Hornindal yeast that produces a tropical flavor and a complex aroma that can present itself as stone fruit, pineapple, dried fruit leather, which complement fruit forward hops. It says even adds more dimension to C hops to increase the ester intensity with a high fermentation temperature, which is what he did, and we have some of those C hops in this. Non-phenolic and no fusols, even at higher temperatures. Temperature range on this one is anywhere from 72 to 98 degrees. And I just think that's nuts. I'm not used to that. I've been brewing for many years, and I brewed a Saison that I had to brew, that I had to get up into the 80s for it to really take off, the low 80s. I couldn't even imagine brewing something in the 90s, so it's just a wild thing to fathom for me. But yeah, that's what this yeast wants, that's what this yeast got. So, got some smoke coming out of there. I heard a little bit of a hiss when I opened it up. Let's see what we got. Maybe I should have picked a bigger glass. I'll polish that a little bit off afterwards. So I'm going to compare this to mine because I heard some same descriptors. Mine was the OYL 200, which had the tropical notes, had the pineapple, the mango that I got out of there. So this, I'm expecting to be kind of similar. So let's see. Oh yeah, definitely very more tropical in the nose. I can already smell that pineapple. I don't know if I'm getting the mango like I got in mine. Definitely getting more of the pineapple. Definitely some other stone fruit type characters going on in there as well. But yeah, that's definitely a tropical beer right there. So let's go ahead and give it a taste. Well, first, You know, this is another one of the darker ones. This one is it's kind of like a nice orangey, coppery color. It's mostly clear. That may just be there's some fogginess on this glass. It may just be that. But yeah, I can see my fingers right through that. So that's pretty good. And you know the carbonation level is pretty good. It got some bubbles streaming up through there. And the head doesn't look like it's going to stick around for too much longer, but it's got a nice tight bubbles on that. So sorry for doing that out of order, but there you go. Now we'll taste it. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's very similar to mine. It's not. There's definitely a difference there. I can see what they're talking about with the. I think they said leather, like sun-dried leather. I think is what I saw in there. It's got a little bit different of a taste to it. So this is talking about dry fruit leather. Yeah. So. I don't know that I necessarily get like a leather. It's more like you know when you get that dried fruit in the package in the store, like a dried apricot maybe, or dried pineapple, dried mangoes, and any of the tropical type fruits. That's what this kind of tastes like. It kind of tastes like those little dry fruits in the bag. It's pretty cool. The smell is mostly pineapple with a little bit of the stone fruit aromas behind that. I like this. I really like this one. Yeah, and the taste follows that, and it's more pronounced. You get a little bit of the pineapple, but I get mostly the dry fruits that you would buy out of the supermarket. That's really cool, man. Yeah, so nice job, Nikhil. It's a really well. I don't want to say balanced. It's a really well done West Coast IPA. You know, it's really, again, really cool to see what these yeasts bring to the table. Even though him and I have similar yeast, there's some difference. There's definitely a difference. So, very cool. All right, well, that's all I have to say about this one. So, we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Cheers. Hey, guys. Matt here at Wreck Brewery. We're going to do another yeast experiment, Brewtubers 2020 review. This one is from Maine brew guy, Gary. He put this whole thing together. He used the Maniacal Juggernaut yeast. It's a Kveik blend. And the Cloudy Skies Smooth Seas IPA, probably for all the sea hops that are in this. Handcrafted in Naples, Florida at 6.7% ABV. Looks like it was brewed on February the 8th. He canned it on March the 4th. The starting gravity was 1067 and the final gravity was 1016. He says he fermented it between 85 and 90 degrees. So he's got a lot of good information on this can. I'll give you guys a shot of some of his canning work here, his labeling. Pretty cool, man. Yeah. Gary's a great guy for putting this whole thing together for us. It's been a lot of fun. So, like all the others, we're going to do a quick little check on the yeast. I did pull it up here. I had a hard time actually finding this one because they don't make it anymore, apparently. So it was hard to actually get like a good profile from their website. So I got what I got. What they're saying here is the Juggernaut Kveik blend originates from Maniacal yeast. Unfortunately, no longer produced by them. So I couldn't find anything on their website. So I just pulled it off of a website that still was selling them until they ran out of stock. And they were saying here that the culture attenuates quickly. It leaves massive stone fruit notes with light hints of orange peels. The final blend is from 6 different Kveik yeasts, and it's a very clean, fruity culture that matches perfectly with the juicy and fruity modern hops. So there was another thing that I read that said huge pineapple as well, as some tropical notes. So we will see what we got. Now, like with other cans that I've gotten from Gary, these things filled to the top and ready to come out of here, so we're going to be ready to pour this. It leaves no room at the top. All right. It's a lovely looking beer there, Gary. Pretty excited to try this on. Pretty much all fit right in that nice glass. Oh yeah, that's actually really clear. It's got a nice, golden straw, orangey type of hue on that. And you can see right through it, so it cleared out nicely. It's got a nice, mixture of small bubbles and big bubbles. Nice big head on that. It's about 2 fingers, I guess, almost. So, yeah, I'm getting a little bit of the tropical off the nose. I'm gonna wait for this to die down some, maybe get a more of a proper smell. But that is a gorgeous looking beer. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see that through that on the camera there, but I'm holding it up to the light for myself, and I can see straight through that. So very clear. Yeah, it definitely has some nice citrus notes to this. It's got some tropical notes as well. I definitely smell a little bit of that pineapple that I referenced. I can definitely smell a little bit of peach now that that some of this is starting to burn off. Some it's definitely some of those stone fruit scents that are coming off this for sure. Yeah, it's very in a way it's kind of got a little bit of a sweet smell to it too. That's pretty cool, man. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and give it a taste. Cheers. Yeah, that's nice. It is a little bit sweet. Yeah, it's got a nice sweetness to it. And I can definitely taste some of the tropical notes. It's like hints of tropical. It's not as I don't want to say overpowering, but it's not as hit you up front with the tropical notes as with my yeast. My yeast is the OYL 200, and that one you definitely get the tropical up front. This one, it's there, but it's a bit subdued. Definitely getting a lot of that stone fruit character they're talking about. Definitely tasting a lot of good peach character there as well. And it's got a nice, it has a nice sweetness to round it out. That's really good, Carrie. Look at that. It's just hanging onto the glass there. Nice good lacing on that. Can't really pick up anything else in there. It's just it's a gorgeous beer. It smells great. All the notes I mentioned, and very clean, very refreshing. And it definitely has a proper carbonation for this. It's not too high. You got a little bit of bubbles streaming up there. It's not a lot. It's a good level, I think. And the head's kind of sticking around. It's got a nice little cap on it. It's not too much. It's just kind of hanging on there. Yeah, this is a good one. This is definitely one that's a contender. I'm trying to figure out which of these yeast I'm going to use when I rebrew this beer. This is also a contender. I definitely, so far, of all the ones I've tried, I like mine to possibly retry. I like Mike Dean's is a possible one to try. This one's really good. They're all good in their own way. And it's going to be really hard to pick favorites. So, anyway, I'll see you guys on the next review then. Take care, everybody. Cheers. Hey guys, Matt here at Wreck Brewery. We're going to do another 2020 Brewtubers Yeast experiment review. Could really use a nice drink now too, because I just did a whole bunch of housework. Everybody being cooped in the house here with the coronavirus and on lockdown. We're just a lot of people going stir crazy and a lot of work to do around the house. So this is definitely coming at a good time. So this is from Brian at Short Circuit Brewers, the Lake of Voss West Coast IPA. Let me show you his cool label here. He did. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Alright, so we've got some information here on the back. Short Circuit Brewers, he used Voss Kveik yeast. I'm going to assume that's the one from Omega, OYL 61. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Brian. It says he fermented it at 80 degrees for 3 days. He rose it to 90 degrees for 24 hours. Kegged it on the 20th. Brewed it on the 11th of February. Kegged it on the 20th. Bottled it on the 26th. Starting gravity was 1066, right on the money. And the final gravity was 1013. Now, let's go ahead and check this out. I'll give you guys a quick rundown on this particular yeast. I pulled it up here from Omega. This is the OYL61 Voss Kveik. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, it didn't say on the participant sheet what brand, so I'm just making an assumption. It says it's a traditional Norwegian Kveik yeast directly from the Juggernaut. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Farmstead. Its orange citrus notes present throughout its wide temperature range. So like the mango honey profile of Hothead OYL 057, Voss Kveik's orange citrus is relatively clean across its fermentation temperature range and pairs well with citrusy fruity hops. Fermentation takes off at higher temperatures and it's non-phenolic. So it says here the flocculation is medium, the attenuation is 75 to 82%. The temperature range on this thing is 72 to 98 degrees. Oof. And the alcohol content or tolerance is 12%. So let's go ahead and crack into her. I got my Halloween opener that I just decided to pull out of retirement. Go ahead and get into the glass. I may fill that right over the top too. Oh yeah. Nice looking beer. Leave the last little bit of that behind, just in case. Oh yeah, that's nice. That's very clear. A lot of carbonation in there, a lot of bubbles. It's got a nice, it's very similar color. Everything is pretty much right on the money with this. I only had one beer that was darker. I can't remember which one that was now. But all these have been pretty close to the same color, if not right on the same color. This one's, it's got a nice golden color, sort of, well, at least in this glass, it's showing that in the bottom. Towards the top here, I could see some really nice orange hues on that. Really, really nice. And a nice blizzard, upside down snowstorm sort of effect with the carbonation, the bubbles. Got a nice one finger head here, maybe 1.5 fingers. And the bubbles in there are big and small both, and it's a very nice sort of like frothy top on that. So it's probably going to stick around for a little bit. Oh yeah, you can definitely smell that citrusy aroma off of, probably a bit from the yeast, but also I could definitely smell some of the hops as well. I'm definitely picking up some of that, some of the Centennial that we used here. I believe we also used Cascade in this recipe as well, and I can definitely notice those. Can't really pick up the Citra. Might be being masked, but it's got a lovely aroma to it. I might pick up a little bit of like sort of like a honey. We did use some honey malt too, so that's probably helping with that as well. But I think the description of this did talk about some honey notes. Maybe a little bit of mango as well. But probably only because I read it. But I need to read these. I don't think I've seen anybody yet describing all the yeasts. I wanted to do that for myself, but also for anybody else that may not be aware of the yeast profiles. I definitely could use it. I'm learning a lot from this experiment. These are a lot of different yeasts that I've never used or some of them even heard of. So it's good to know what you're getting into before you get in there, and I can kind of sort of like dot the I's, cross the T's, so to speak, from what I'm reading to what I'm tasting. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and give us a taste. Cheers. That's real nice. Real nice. Very clean. Very citrusy. You can definitely pull out those hops. Yeah, that's real nice. That's a great yeast for this beer. Another solid contender for me rebrewing. I've actually never brewed with a Kveik yeast of any type, so that's interesting me just in itself. I was thinking about doing sort of like a just fermenting it here, not an open fermentation, but not putting it in the fermentation chamber, waiting until the warmer weather came, and just left it out here in the garage. Over the summertime, this garage can get up to 89 degrees easily, so that would be pretty cool to just be able to do that. I mean, it's something that I would normally have feared with a regular ale yeast or any other type of yeast. it's definitely something I want to check out. These Kveik beasts, man, they seem like they're beasts. They go right to it. Look at that. It's really clear. I'm assuming, just like the rest of us, didn't use any kind of clarifying agent or any fining agents or anything like that. So you got what you got here, and you got it really nice and clear. So that yeast did a good job. Yeah, and it's got, it's great. It's really allowing those hops to shine through. It's got a really nice citrusy aroma to it. I like that. It's a really, really nice, clean, refreshing smelling beer, if that makes any sense. It's very inviting for like a nice warm day. Yeah, and the taste is right there. The taste, you can definitely pull out all those hops out of this, and there's not really necessarily any one thing that I can discern as being up front. I could just taste a nice hop forwardness out of this. It's really cool. Very citrusy, and you can definitely pull out all those sea hops out of this. So great job, Brian. This is a really nice beer. Very clean, very refreshing, and you can definitely tell that we got some really pro brewers here in this circuit. It's awesome, man. This is the first beer that I've actually had from Brian at Short Circuit of Brewers. So it's been a real pleasure to get to finally try his craft, and it's awesome. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you guys with the next review. Take care. Cheers. Hey guys, Matt here from Wreck Brewery. We're going to do another 2020 Brewtubers Yeast experiment review. I'm going to do 2 tonight, I think. I really enjoyed Brian's from Short Circuit of Brewers. He had the Voss Kveik. So I figured I'd go ahead and bust into another one. I pulled out the Wally's. This is the WLP 644, which is from White Labs. It's the Saccharomyces, I believe. This isn't one of his typical labels, but it's a cool label nonetheless, so I figured I'd show it off. This is, kind of what he put together for us here. And of course, feck this, I'm drinking beers. Wally is awesome. We've traded many a beers before, so I'm sure this one will be just as well as the others. So WLP 644 Saccharomyces Brewzelisnis. Probably didn't pronounce that right. It says it's a Belgian strain, typically used for wild yeast fermentations. It produces a slightly tart beer with delicate mango and pineapple characteristics. Seeing quite of a theme here. A lot of these yeasts that we've chosen have been tropical in nature. It says the wild yeast has grown popularity in styles like the American IPA, American Pale, and Blonde Ales due to its tropical and stone fruit flavors and aromas. So they're saying here that the attenuation is 85, flocculation is low, alcohol tolerance is medium to high, which is 8 to 12%, and the optimum fermentation temperature is anywhere from 70 to 85. It's quite a range on that. It's almost getting up there with the Kveik stuff, isn't it? All right, and he filled that right up at the top as well. So let's see what we have here. Got a nice hiss on it. All right. Stop it there. Leave it just the last little bit behind. Oh yeah, that thing is really clear, just like Kevin's. Or I'm sorry, just like Brian's. Kevin's not in this. Kevin should have been in this. I don't know why he wasn't. This one's a little bit lighter. It's not quite orange. This is definitely more of a straw color. It's a nice blonde color on this. Very clear. Yeah, so great job on that. I mean, that cleared out nicely. Let's see here. So I got a nice upside down snowstorm of bubbles going on there. A really pretty head on this one as well. It's got a nice mixture of bubbles again. Another kind of frothy type head on it. So it's probably between that and the carbonation going on there, that is not going anywhere anytime soon. So let's go ahead and get an aroma. It's got more of a toned down aroma than the last couple that I've tried. I could smell a little bit of the tropical that are there, but it's very faint. It does smell a little bit. They were talking about a tartness. I guess we'll taste that, but it does smell like it's got a little bit of a tartness to it. Not a whole lot. To me, it's a very subtle. All these different aromas that I'm pointing out, they're very low. They're not real prominent. Maybe as it warms up a little bit, or maybe as I drink some, maybe some more will come out of this. But for now, it smells very clean. There's not a whole lot of prominent aromas in this. Like I said, just a little bit of everything, but not really, not any one particular thing is really standing out. So let's go ahead and give it a taste. Cheers. Yeah, this one has a nice bitterness to it, actually. Might be a little bit of the tartness that's kind of helping with that, but it's got a lot more of a sort of a bite to it. Yeah, I can't really pick out specifically some of the hops. I think it's being overshadowed by the yeast. Not like the last one I just had. You really can't. I can't really taste or smell a strong sort of Centennial or Cascade or even Citra in this. Obviously, it's in there, but it's being masked by the yeast. There's a little bit, of a tartness to it. It's definitely more bitter than the couple last that I've had. It's nice, but I don't know that this is a yeast that great job to the brewer. You can see right here. Wally has put together a phenomenal looking beer. It tastes good. There's nothing wrong with the beer itself. I just think that this is probably not the yeast that I would pick for this style. That's just me. Yeah, but I'm not picking up any flaws in this at all. This is a greatly or an awesome crafted beer. Great job, Wally. This is nice. that head is it's most of it's dissipated. Look at that lacing though. It's just kind of hanging around under the glass. It's got a pretty persistent head. But it's a very low grade one, and it's very clear, very clean beer. Nice clean tasting beer as well too. Very refreshing. You're not getting some of the stuff that we put into this recipe. I'm not picking out specifically, some of the malts that we threw in there. You're not getting a lot of that out of this. I can't taste, some of the malts that I'm familiar with at least. And I definitely can't pick out a particular hop, but I know they're all there, and it is got a nice hop forwardness and a sort of a bitterness to it, which is nice. But it's definitely shadowing some of the ingredients that we have. And to me, that wouldn't be my preference. I've had other yeasts so far that I think I would prefer over this one. So, but this is a yeast that I might do a little bit more research on and figure out what I might put it into. It just wouldn't be this particular recipe. So, but hey, great job, Wally. I really appreciate this. This is a really nice beer, for what it is. And yeah, so that's all I have to say about this one. We'll see you guys on the next review. Cheers.